All right, so my name is Darlene McQueen. I'm an account executive here at Retail Control Systems. And as Ryan mentioned, we're going to take you through RCS and NCR Counterpoint for Goodwills. When you log into Counterpoint, you're going to choose your company, you're going to choose your user ID, and then you'll have a password. Now, we do have employee swipe cards that will allow you to swipe a card as opposed to entering in your password. It is a PCI compliant application, so it does require complex passwords. But in this case, I do have it turned off, so I don't have to, but we don't recommend that. So I'm going to go ahead and log into Counterpoint. All right, so this is Counterpoint. So when you log into Counterpoint, based on how you log in is what you're going to see. So I'm logging in as a manager. So I'm seeing everything that is available to me so I can show you what Counterpoint is all about. So the way Securities works is you're going to create a user, and then you're going to assign that user to a group, and that group would have, certain rights and privileges, and they may even also have a specific menu because you can set up menu groups based on users as well. So for example, if I'm a cashier and I'm only giving them access to the point of sale terminal, when the cashier group logs in, that's all they're going to see is their point of sale terminal. Okay. So what you're seeing here are my recently used. So this is kind of where I went last when I was in this program. These are my favorites. So you can go to any application and say, I want to add that to my favorites menu, and then it will appear on your favorites menu. You can search for anything in Counterpoint. So if you're looking for a specific report, I can just start typing that report, and then I have quick access to that. Let me see. This allows you the ability to clock in and clock out. So Counterpoint has a feature that allows you to clock in and clock out. It's a great feature for allowing you to see like key reports for time of day analysis. So you can optimize your staff and so forth. So we do recommend that you turn on the time clock when your cashiers are logging in so you can capture those important details. We actually do have a Goodwill who actually uses this as a kind of a time and attendance program. They actually have a laptop set up in the back where they have everybody logging into Counterpoint through that laptop, and then they export that data and they share it with their payroll system. So it's and I don't want to oversell it. It's not an HR system in any way, but it will allow you to track time, edit time, and then report that. So on the left-hand side is where you'll see the applications that come standard with Counterpoint. So point of sale, this is where all your point of sale transactions take place. So this is where I would launch my touch screen. This is where I post my transactions. This is where you would manage your drawers. So, activate your drawers, do cash drops, count down your drawers, reconcile, etc. And then each application has its own set of reports. So I'm in point of sale, so this is where I would go to look at my journal reports. So if I want to print a drawer summary or my Z-tape report, when I close out my drawers, I can certainly do that. And then you have access to views. Views give you quick access to the data within Counterpoint. So if you wanted to just go in quickly to check on a ticket, you would just go to views. This is going to get me into Counterpoint to just query tickets or orders, layaways, holds, and quotes. So these are all the different transaction types you can do in Counterpoint. Inventory is where you're going to go to create the items that you're going to sell in your store. It's where you're going to manage barcodes for Counterpoint. And then you can also do kits. So during the holidays, if you want to put a group of items together to sell as a single item, you can do sales kits. You can do miscellaneous kits and then kits that allow you to upsell. So it might show a prompt on the screen where the cashier says, would you like to add batteries to that toy that you just purchased? And then if they say yes, you can add the AA batteries. So those are some nice features. So you can use kits to sell as groups, or you can use them for upselling purposes. There's a physical inventory feature built in. So if you perform physical inventory in your store, you have the ability to freeze sections of your store, do cycle counting, and integrate with the CP mobile application, which allows you the ability to capture those counts. As I mentioned earlier, you have the ability to transfer merchandise. So you can move merchandise from one store to another store. You can even do a transfer advice report. And basically what that does is it'll go out and look at all the different stores and allow you to say, okay, well, tell me what, I want the system to tell me by looking at all the stores, what I should be transferring out. And so that's essentially what a transfer advice report will do. Pricing and promotions. So this is where you would go to set up any special promotions that you have. So mix and matches would be your BOGOs. So buy one, get one at 50% off. Specials might be your color of the week special. It happens the same day of the week, every week. And promotions would be start and end date promos. So what's the next holiday coming up? 4th of July. So let's say you want to do a 4th of July promo that's going to end, that's going to start on July 2nd at 8 a.m. and it's going to end on July 5th or July 4th at, 9 a.m. 9 p.m. So whatever it is you want to define, and you can define certain categories. So maybe you want that special to just be on colors, or maybe apparel, or household merchandise, whatever it is. You can set that up in promotional pricing. Contract pricing would be an employee discount. It would be a military, a senior. You can set it up behind the scenes, but in order for that to be activated, you would need to bring in the customer to the transaction. So you have to add that customer. Their customer record has to be defined as an employee, and then it automatically gives them their discount. And then price sheets, we'll talk about that. This essentially allows you to do blanket price changes. So if you're going to do a 10% discount on all apparel, or then you can use price sheets to do that. If you're going to make 10% increase or decrease on all apparel, you could do that as well here. This would be a permanent thing. This would be more of a promotion. Inventory has views as well. So I like to show this one because it allows you the ability to look at all your items in all of your stores. You can see what your quantities are, what's on purchase order, if it's a purchased product, what's in transit. So it's a nice view. And this is a filter. And anywhere in Counterpoint where you see this allows you the ability to drill down to specific data. So if I just wanted to look at my store one, and I want to look at just my clothing, I can drill down specifically on that. And anywhere in Counterpoint where you see like a header, if you do a right click, you can export data. So even if you like working with Excel and you want to filter down data and export that into Excel, you can do things like that. And then the column designer lets you put more things in here. So if you wanted to add more things into this view, you could do that with column designer. So really you can make this this detailed lookup essentially whatever you want it to be. All right, I'm going to breeze through so we don't, let me do a time check here. Want to make sure I leave some time at the end for questions. Customers, real quick, that's just where your customers are going to live. For the most part, you're going to be adding customers on the fly. You can even do some customer maintenance on the fly. If you want to add email addresses or phone numbers, you can do that on the fly, and then they'll live in the customer record. There is a loyalty program built into Counterpoint. So this just is where you can go to adjust points accordingly. And then you could get some customer-based reports here. Purchasing, there's a full purchasing system built in. So the ability to have the system tell you what to buy, based on replenishment, based on mins and maxes, based on days of supply. So if you buy new goods, this is a great feature, but I'm not going to get too into this today. And then receivings, you have a couple of ways that you can receive merchandise. You can receive with or without a PO in Counterpoint. And then, of course, Robart not only allows you the ability to tag merchandise, but it also will receive merchandise into the store for you. Okay. We don't have a built-in e-commerce system. What this is this is just a connector. You have to have some kind of a connection piece, either an API to your e-commerce site or a connector. We connect with like Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, and we have some special connectors. But this basically just allows you to move the data from your item master file into the e-commerce site. I mentioned time cards. So again, that just allows you to clock in, clock out, edit time, save time, export time, etc. Data interchange allows you the ability to import data into Counterpoint and then export data out. So if you have a system today that you're using and you want to get the data out of your Counterpoint system, this is where we typically start. So we'll provide you with a CSV file, Excel template essentially, that will allow you to populate your items into that, and then we'll just move it into Counterpoint through data interchange. Okay, so you can export data out of Counterpoint and import data in through the data interchange tool. The system file lets you do your accounting interface. So Counterpoint does have some direct interfaces, but we basically worked with every accounting system out there, and we can provide an interface, whether it's direct or export to your accounting system. So again, your accounts payable, your general ledger application, Counterpoint will do everything related to the store, and then it provides you with a distribution file or an interface to your accounting application. And then the setup feature. So this is where we're going to go in and help you set up Counterpoint to function for your business. So if I go to quick setup real quick, I just like to show this. This is where you can actually make some fields unique for your business. So I actually have a field here for color. In the customer record, I want to track birth months, and that's actually going to allow me the ability in the email marketing tool to send out promotions to my customers based on their birth month. As long as I capture that information at point of sale, it'll store it in the database and allow me to use that. So again, these are free-formed fields that you can turn on and make your own. So they'll be unique for your business. All right, and then some of the enhancements, we talked about color rotation. So this is a tool that allows you the ability to set up your colors by store. So if some of your stores have different color sequences, not a problem. So you get to define the color sequences by store, and you have up to 6, and you can define what that's based on. So it can be based on a subcategory or maybe a profile field or an attribute. So whatever makes sense for your business. And then you have your starting color date, and then it rotates accordingly and allows you to discount and lets you know when you need to pull merchandise off the floor. And then I don't have the kiosk up and running, but we talked about the kiosk application. Production would be Robart, which we talked about. And then the KPI tool is basically allows you to define what you want to track. So donor count, traffic count, hang count, whatever that is. And you probably wouldn't need hang count if you're using Robart, because it's going to track all of that information for you. And then it allows you the ability to assign that to the stores. Anything you see here with an asterisk, Counterpoint is already counting. So this is coming right out of Counterpoint. But then it just basically produces those KPI reports for you. All right, so let's jump into point of sale. Let's take a look at the point of sale application. So I'm going to click the point of sale. Actually, I could get there a few ways. Let me go to my favorites and I'll hit the touch screen. It's asking me to log in, so I'm going to log in with my user ID. And if I'm working in a different store today, I can select that store, but today I'm in 401, which is my normal default. So it's defaulting my store, my station, and drawer. So I'm going to go ahead and activate my drawer. Now, when it comes to activating a drawer, you can put in your activation amount, Or if you want to count your cash units, or you have your cashiers do blind counts and they count up their drawers or down their drawers, you can do that as well. So we provide that functionality for you. Okay, so my drawer is activated. I'm loading my touchscreen. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this. Everything you see here is completely customizable. So I actually have my color sequences set up here. But again, it's entirely up to you how you want to set that up. Up here, I have my hold, my recall, my help button, the home button to get back to the page. Let me move this in case you're seeing it. Get that out of the way. All right. Your cursor sets on this when you begin a transaction, or if you're the type of user who wants to capture customer information, we can set Counterpoint up so it prompts for customer details at the beginning of every transaction. So in order to get out of that, they have to hit cancel, but it prompts the cashier to say, are you part of our VIP program, to capture their details. So we can set it up that way. Let me go ahead and do a few transactions, and then we'll talk more about some of these buttons here. So I'm going to go ahead and scan a couple of items. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and use my touch screen to add some items. So you can sell from the buttons, or you can barcode merchandise as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add some items here. These are immediately popping in the prices because that's how I have those buttons set up. But I also wanted to show you that if I go into the Blue Week and I select pants, I can also set up my screens by price point. So again, however you want to set your screens up, you can do that with Counterpoint. If I hit brand name, it's going to prompt me to put in a price. Okay. All right, and if I had a few pink items, I think that's what's on rotation right now for discounting. So you can see it's discounting that 50% off here. All right, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and hit the pay button. Now, our new roundup feature at this point of the transaction would pop a message up on the screen and have the cashier say, you know, whatever you script out for them, would you like to donate to help your local community, round up your change? But here I don't have that message set up, so I'm just going to hit round up. Okay, and it's going to round up to 41. And then I'm going to hit my pay button. So I have some preset denominations here, but you can take multiple payment tenders at the point of sale station. And then I can email a receipt, print a receipt, or even print a gift receipt. So we'll go ahead and print that receipt. So here's my receipt. These are all my transactions. Here's my donation. And then I could have done something like you saved X amount. You can do that by store in the setup features. So I don't have that turned on, but if I did, it would say here that you've saved X amount of dollars based on that, the pink rotation discount. You can put your logo at the top of the receipt. This is your detail information that you can actually customize. You have like 5 lines of 50 characters each to put in some messaging. So maybe about your mission, maybe you want to market your website, maybe a special event, and you can do that on the bottom as well. I'm utilizing a lot of that functionality to get my store hours. And then the barcode that you see there, that is for validated return. So if I bring back merchandise as a cashier, I simply have to scan that barcode. It will call up the transaction and then I can return the merchandise. Okay. If you want to also email a receipt, you do have the ability to capture email addresses at point of sale. So you could actually enter their email address here and then email them the receipt. All right. I'm going to do a couple of other transactions here. First, I want to show you the lookup functionality. So if somebody brought up, let's say the mask of Zorro, and it didn't have a receipt on it, I could hit a barcode on it. I could hit the magnifying glass and just type in what I'm looking for, keyword search. It will show me the mask of Zorro. I can simply add that into my transaction. Or let's say I want to see if I have quantities available in other stores. I could hit this zoom button and it's going to zoom into details about this item. So allow me the ability to see what I have in stock at other locations. I can look at recent sales for that item. I can even click this link and it will drill down to the last sale that I did for the Mask of Zorro. And then you can have item notes as well. I don't know what I have in here, but I guess I do have a prompt. So this is an automatic note. And when I add this Mask of Zorro to the ticket, this should pop up as well. So that's an automatic note. Another way to upsell. So let me go ahead and add that. And there we go. So I can just hit close here. Okay. Images, you can set up images for your system, and wherever you place them is where they're going to stay on your point of sale screen. So if you want them to stay here, put them over there and they'll just stay there as other images pop up. And again, you don't have to have images. You might want images for really expensive items in the store that you want to make sure people aren't switching tags on. But for the most part, I don't believe that images are used too much for Goodwills, but it's a great feature. It's a good loss prevention feature. If you need it, it's there. And then we'll add a couple of other items. And then we will go ahead and add a customer to the ticket. And so let me just type in, let me see here. What do I have that? Okay, so we're going to add Dave to the ticket. And then once you have a customer in view, you can do the same thing with Zoom. So let's say I wanted to look at Dave's recent sales. Let's say Dave comes into the store and says, I was in here last week and I purchased, some men's jeans and I lost my receipt. Is there any way you could reprint that receipt for me? If you go to the Zoom button and then recent sales, you can actually call up that transaction. And again, this is a permission-based feature, so you have to have the rights to do so. But you can look at the details of that transaction, and then you can even reprint a receipt if you want to. Okay. So that's a nice feature, great customer service feature. So we'll add Dave to the ticket. And actually, what I could do as well is let me edit Dave's details. So this is customer from lookup. So you can add a customer on the fly easily. You can utilize their phone number as their customer number. And you can add them to the loyalty program. I could add Dave's birth month here. Let's say I want to edit that here on screen. So again, some really nice features. So we've added Dave's birth month for promotions. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and pay. And we'll round up the transaction again. Pay with $60 here. And then we'll print the receipt. Now, because I added Dave into the transaction and he is part of my loyalty program, it's showing me what his point balance is and how many points he earned for this ticket. All right, and then refunds. I'll just talk about that because I just saw the barcode. So if a customer has a barcode and they're returning merchandise, you click the return button, scan the barcode, it will find that transaction. If they don't have the receipt and you allow them to return anyway, you have the ability to look it up by document, by store, by ticket date range, by the customer. So if you're capturing customer information, again, that's a nice feature, by item number or card. So if they give you the card that they used, you can scan that card. It should find the transaction. It's actually going to be looking for the unique token that was created when they made the original purchase. So it's not looking for the actual credit card, but the unique token, because that's the only thing stored in Counterpoint. And then once you find the ticket, you can go ahead and return that merchandise. All right. So we have 10 more minutes. I'm going to talk about a few features here on the touchscreen. First, let me talk about discounts. In Counterpoint, there are 3 ways to discount. You can do pricing and promotions, which I already mentioned. That's in inventory when you go to pricing. You set up those promotions in advance. So again, something has to trigger it. If it's a date specific promotion, then it's going to be the date, the start date and the end date that triggers and ends that promotion. If it's a customer driven promotion, you have to pull the customer into that transaction to give them that promo. And so that's the promotions or price rules, which are the behind the scenes. You also can do discount codes, which is what you're looking at here. So I have some discount codes set up where the cashier can go ahead and click a button and add that discount to the ticket. So if I hit $5 off $20 or more, it's actually going to keep this line here on the top of the screen until I get to my $20 before it gives me that 5% discount. And then the other way you can discount is you can have a discount item in Counterpoint. So that if you scan a barcode and then it will, apply that discount to the ticket. All right. You can hold a transaction. So if somebody forgets their wallet, you want to hold the transaction and recall it, you can do that. You can set up some promotions or coupons. So I have some set up here. I'm using price rules to do this. So if I do have some promotions out there, you can create a barcode for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then scan that barcode and it will give that discount on that merchandise. Counterpoint has a built-in gift card program. So you can actually sell gift cards. You can sell in multiples. You can authorize them. You can adjust gift cards in Counterpoint. Again, it's all built into the Counterpoint system, so there's no processing fees involved. So if the gift card isn't redeemed, that money stays with you. It doesn't stay with the processor. And again, there's no fees associated with that. There's a message center built into Counterpoint, which is a really nice feature. It allows the corporate location to communicate. It can be one-way or two-way communication, but most people use this as a one-way messaging board to the cashiers. So if there's a child lost in the store, or they want to get a message out to the cashiers to sell gift cards or whatever your message is, it'll pop up right on the point of sale station and provide that message to the cashiers. All right, I think that is pretty much it for the presentation. Oh, we do have a couple questions coming in.
Here's one that just came in. Can you track a coupon so each customer can only use it once?
Yes, that's actually an enhancement, but we do have one-time use coupons, and they can be tied to loyalty or not. So it really depends on, we've done a couple of different scenarios, so it depends on what you're looking for.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.